The stars were bright in the vast darkness of space. A huge alien fleet moved slowly through the empty stretches between the stars. Hundreds of ships of different shapes and sizes floated like a silent storm heading toward the human planets. The leader of the fleet, Commander Rollo, stood in the control room of the largest ship, the Dreadnought. His eyes were fixed on the screen showing the map of human space. Commander Rollo was proud. His Armada was one of the strongest in this part of the galaxy. They had defeated many smaller races before. The humans were said to be weak and slow. Rollo believed it would be easy to take control of their worlds. His plan was simple: enter human space, show strength, and force humans to surrender without much fight. The aliens were confident that their weapons and numbers would quickly end the battle. The alien ships moved closer to the border of human space. The fleet was quiet but full of power. The smaller ships were arranged like soldiers ready for battle. The big ships, armed with strong weapons and shields, were in the center. They were prepared for anything far away on Earth. The humans were watching the sky with their advanced radar systems. The sensors had detected the alien fleet hours ago. Scientists and military leaders were tense. They knew the aliens were coming. But their own fleet was small. The humans had fewer ships and less advanced weapons compared to the alien Armada. At the space station near Earth, Captain Neil stood in front of a screen showing the approaching alien fleet. The humans had only one warship ready to meet the aliens, the old but trusted ship called Valiant. It was not a new ship, but it had been upgraded many times. Captain Neil looked at the face of his crew. They were young and nervous. Neil felt the weight of the moment. "We do not have many ships," Neil said quietly, "but we have something they do not have. We have our courage and our will to protect our home. We will show them that humans are not easy to defeat." His words gave hope to the crew. The Valiant started moving toward the alien fleet. The ship was smaller compared to the Armada, but it was fast and agile. Its weapons were not the strongest, but they had secret technology made by the best human scientists. Back on the Dreadnought, Commander Rollo was watching the human ship approach. He smiled. "One ship. This will be a quick victory," he said. "Prepare the fleet for battle. Show no mercy." The Valiant moved steadily. The stars passed by quickly as the ship raced toward the alien fleet. Inside the control room, Captain Neil checked every system. The shields, the weapons, the engines, all were ready. "Remember," Neil told his crew, "this is not just a fight for survival. This is a fight to show who we are. We protect our people. We fight for peace. But if they come with war, we will not back down." The crew nodded. The youngest soldier, Mika, looked at Neil with respect. "We will do our best, Captain," Mika said. The captain smiled. The Valiant reached the edge of the alien fleet. The aliens looked surprised to see only one ship. They sent a message through the universal translator: "Humans." The voice was cold and strong. "You face the power of the greatest fleet. Surrender now and avoid destruction." Captain Neil listened carefully. He knew the aliens expected fear, but there was none in his heart. He replied with calm and clear words. "We come in peace," Neil said. "We want to talk. But if you attack, we will defend ourselves." The aliens laughed. Commander Rollo said, "Peace is weakness. Prepare to fire." Suddenly, the alien ships opened fire. Bright beams of energy shot toward the Valiant. The human ship moved fast, dodging many attacks. The shields held strong. Captain Neil ordered the weapons to fire back. The Valiant's lasers hit one of the smaller alien ships. It exploded in a bright flash. The aliens were shocked. How could one small ship damage them? Commander Rollo shouted, "Do not underestimate them. Destroy the Valiant." The battle grew fierce. The human ship was fast and clever. It moved in unexpected ways, making it hard for the alien fleet to target it. The human crew worked as one. Each shot counted. The aliens realized this was not an easy fight. Captain Neil saw the damage their attacks caused. "Keep pushing," he said. "We must protect our home." The aliens were losing ships quickly. Commander Rollo could not believe it. His great armada was breaking because of one human ship. The Valiant continued its fight with skill and bravery. the humans used their secret weapons to disable some alien ships' systems. The aliens could not repair their damage fast enough. The battle was just beginning, but already the humans showed strength no one expected. Captain Neil and his crew fought with hope and determination as the sun rose on Earth. The distant stars, shown on the space battlefield. The story of the human warship Valiant had just begun. The alien fleet's first meeting with humans was not what they thought. They had met a force that would not back down. The humans were ready to protect their home with courage and skill. The stars held a new story. The story of humans who fought not just to survive but to win. The Valiant moved quickly through the battlefield. Captain Neil stood steady at the command center. His eyes scanned the glowing screens that showed the positions of enemy ships. The alien fleet was large, but their movements were slower and less careful than the humans expected. The crew worked without pause. Every soldier knew their job. The weapons team prepared lasers and missiles. The engineers checked the shields and engines. The communications officers sent signals to Earth, reporting their progress. Despite being outnumbered, the crew felt a strong sense of hope. Captain Neil spoke to them quietly but with confidence. "We face many ships, but we have something no one else does, our spirit and quick thinking. Remember, this fight is for our home." The human soldiers focused on the mission. Mika, the youngest in the crew, aimed the laser cannon with steady hands. She had trained hard for moments like this. Her eyes followed the blinking lights that showed enemy targets. She fired carefully, hitting an alien scout ship that exploded in a ball of fire. "Good shot," Neil said, smiling. The small winds gave the crew courage. The Valiant was small but fast. It dodged attacks with skill. The alien fleet tried to surround it, but the humans used smart moves to escape. Commander Rala watched from the dreadnought. He could not believe what was happening. His large armada was losing ships, and all because of one small human warship. "This is impossible," Rala said angrily. "Why are they so strong? Why did they fight like this?" His officers looked worried. The aliens were used to winning quickly. They did not expect the humans to be so brave or so clever. Back on the Valiant, Captain Neil used the ship's special abilities. The Valiant had secret upgrades made by human scientists. One was a powerful energy pulse that could disable enemy ships for a short time. Neil waited for the right moment. "Get ready," Neil said to his weapons team. "We will try the pulse. If it works, it will give us a chance to attack more ships." The pulse was fired. A bright wave of energy spread across the battlefield. Alien ships suddenly lost power. Engines stopped, and weapons went silent. The fleet was caught off guard. "Now," Neil ordered. The Valiant moved fast and attacked the disabled ships. The lasers and missiles hit the targets. One by one, the alien ships exploded or floated helplessly. The alien officers were shocked. Commander Rala shouted, "This cannot be. How do they have such power?" The humans were calm but focused. They used every chance to damage the enemy fleet. The Valiant moved among the ships like a shadow, striking where the aliens were weakest. The crew's teamwork was perfect. Engineers kept the ship running at full speed. The weapons team fired quickly and accurately. The communications officers sent updates to Earth, giving hope to those waiting. Captain Neil felt proud of his crew. "We are stronger than they think," he said quietly. "We fight for our families, our planet, and our future. This is what makes us human." The battle continued for hours. The alien fleet became smaller as more ships were destroyed or disabled. Commander Rala decided to send his strongest ships to attack the Valiant directly. Huge warships moved toward the human ship. Their weapons were powerful and their shields strong. The Valiant was in danger. Captain Neil was calm. "We have faced worse," he said. "Prepare the defense systems. We will not give up." The Valiant fought bravely. The crew used all their skills. The ship moved fast, dodging the heavy attacks. The lasers from the human ship hit the enemy again and again. Mika fired her laser cannon with focus. She saw one large alien ship losing power. "Captain, that ship is weak," she said. "Good work," Neil replied. "Aim for that ship. The Valiant fired missiles and lasers at the enemy ship. The alien ship's shields failed. It exploded in a huge flash of light. The crew cheered quietly. Commander Rollo was angry and confused. His mighty fleet was breaking. "Order retreat," he commanded. The alien ships turned away and began to move back. The battle was lost for them. Captain Neil watched the retreat. "This is our home," he said softly. "We will protect it no matter what." The Valiant returned to Earth as a hero. The people on the planet were proud. They had seen how one human warship had fought an entire alien armada and won. Scientists studied the battle carefully. They wanted to learn how humans could be so strong and clever. Military leaders promised to prepare better for the future. Captain Neil and his crew were honored. They were examples of courage, skill, and hope. Their stories spread across the world. The humans knew the battle was only the beginning. The galaxy was full of dangers. But they also knew they had a special strength, the human spirit. It was a power no weapon could destroy. The stars shone bright over Earth, and the people looked to the sky with pride and hope. They were ready for what would come next. The stars stretched endlessly as the Valiant glided through space after the fierce battle. Captain Neil stood quietly, looking out the window of the ship's command center. The crew was tired but full of pride. They had faced a great enemy and won against all odds. But Neil knew this victory was only the beginning. The alien fleet had come to human space for a reason. They wanted control, and they would not give up easily. The humans had to be ready for what might come next. On Earth, leaders gathered to discuss the fight. They praised Captain Neil and his brave crew. Scientists studied the secret weapons and defenses that had helped the Valiant survive. Everyone wanted to understand how humans had won. Neil met with the top commanders. "We fought well," he said, "but we must be ready. The aliens will return, stronger and smarter." One scientist named Dr. Mira showed Neil a new kind of shield. "This technology will help protect our ships better," she explained. "It absorbs energy from enemy attacks and uses it to strengthen itself." Neil nodded. "We need to upgrade the whole fleet. Our people depend on it." Meanwhile, Commander Rollo sat on the bridge of his damaged ship, furious and frustrated. The defeat was unexpected and embarrassing. His officers tried to calm him. "We can rebuild." One said, "We can return with more ships and better weapons." Rollo looked out into space. "Yes," he said slowly, "we will come back. But next time, we must be smarter. We must learn from our mistakes." He ordered spies to study the humans. The aliens wanted to understand what made humans so strong. Was it their technology, their tactics, or something else? Back on the Valiant, the crew rested but stayed alert. Captain Neil knew that trust and teamwork had won the day. "We are more than machines," he told his crew. "We fight with our hearts and minds." The youngest crew member, Mika, asked, "Captain, why do humans never give up even when they are weak?" Neil smiled. "Because we believe in each other and our home. We fight for the people we love. That gives us strength." Days passed, and the humans worked hard to repair and improve their defenses. New ships were built. Train crews prepared. The entire planet was united in the hope of peace, but ready for war. Then, one night, alarms rang on the Valiant. Sensors showed a small group of alien ships approaching quietly. It was a scouting party sent to gather information. Captain Neil ordered his crew to prepare. The humans were ready to show their strength again. The small alien ships moved carefully, trying to avoid detection. But the Valiant's crew was sharp. They tracked the enemy and prepared to respond. Neil sent a message to the scouts. "We see you. Turn back and do not test us." The aliens did not answer. Instead, they tried to hide among the stars. Neil gave the order. Fire warning shots. Bright beams of light passed near the alien ships. The scouts paused, then quickly retreated. The message was clear. Humans would not allow spies in their space. The Valiant followed for a short time, then returned to base. The crew felt proud again. They had defended their home without firing a single deadly shot. Back on Earth, news of the small battle spread. People cheered the courage of their space soldiers. The hope grew that humans could stand against any threat, but Captain Neil warned, "We must remain calm and prepared." This is a warning, not a victory. The aliens watched from a distance. Commander Raoul's plan was changing. He realized that humans were not just fighters. They were thinkers and learners. The humans' will to survive was stronger than any weapon. Raoul began to respect the humans. He knew his next attack had to be careful. The aliens had to be smarter and faster. On the Valiant, the crew trained harder. Captain Neil taught his soldiers new tactics. "We must be ready for anything," he said. "They will not come with the same plan twice." Mika practiced her laser skills. She felt proud to be part of a team that stood between Earth and danger. As weeks passed, the human fleet grew stronger. New ships joined the Valiant. Each ship was built with lessons learned. From the first battle, scientists worked on better weapons and shields. Engineers made faster engines. Every person on Earth knew that the future depended on their courage and wisdom. One evening, as the sun set over Earth, Captain Neil stood outside the space station. He looked at the stars and thought about the battles to come. He knew the war was far from over, but he also knew this: humanity's greatest weapon was its heart. No matter how many ships the aliens brought, humans would never stop fighting for their home. The stars shone quietly, but in the hearts of humans, a fire burned. Bright, a fire of hope, strength, and endless courage. The alien fleet gathered again, this time far from human space. On a dark planet with jagged mountains and cold winds, Commander Rollo stood on the command platform, his face hard with determination. The defeat they had suffered was fresh in his mind. This time, he would not let the humans win so easily. Around him, officers and scientists prepared new ships and weapons. They had learned from the last battle. Their technology was better, their strategies sharper. The fleet was smaller, but faster and more deadly. Raoul called his leaders to a meeting. "The humans have courage and skill," he said, "but they are only one planet. We have many worlds. We will strike with all our power. This time, we will crush them." Meanwhile, on Earth, Captain Neil and the crew of the Valiant were ready. The planet was busy with new shipyards and training centers. Soldiers and pilots came from every corner of Earth to prepare for the fight ahead. Neil walked through the space station corridors, watching the busy crew. The hum of engines, the chatter of orders, the flashes of lights, all told the story of a people united for a cause. The Valiant was no longer alone. It sailed among a growing fleet of human warships. Each ship carried brave crews ready to defend their home. In the command center of the Valiant, Neil studied the latest reports. "The aliens are preparing," he said to his officers. "They are faster and stronger. We must be ready." His tactical officer, Lena, nodded. "Our new shields and weapons will help, but we cannot wait for them to come to us. We must act." The humans planned a bold move. They decided to send a fleet to meet the aliens before they reached Earth. The goal was to stop the enemy far from the planet and protect their home. Captain Neil was chosen to lead this fleet. It was a great honor and a heavy responsibility. The day came when the human fleet left Earth's orbit. The ships moved as one, shining like stars in the black space. The crew was full of hope and courage. As they traveled, Neil spoke to his team. "Remember, we fight not just for ourselves, but for everyone on Earth. Stay sharp, work together, and trust each other." The fleet reached the edge of human space. Ahead, the alien ships waited. They had changed their formation and tactics. The battle began without warning. Lasers and missiles filled the dark sky. The human ships moved with skill and power. The alien fleet was faster, but less organized. Neil watched closely. "Focus on their engines and weapons. If we can stop their movement and firepower, we can." When the human fleet fired carefully and well, they hit weak points and disabled many alien ships. The aliens fought fiercely, but were surprised by human tactics. Mika, now a skilled pilot, flew her fighter with confidence. She dodged enemy fire and struck back hard. She felt proud to be part of the fight to protect Earth. The battle lasted many hours. Both sides lost ships, but the humans worked as a team, covering each other and attacking with courage. Commander Rollo grew angry as he saw his fleet weaken again. "We must change our plan," he said. "Send the heavy ships to break their lines." The aliens pushed forward with their biggest ships. Their weapons were powerful and their shields strong. The human fleet was in danger. Captain Neil stayed calm. "Hold your positions," he said. "Use the new pulse weapon." The fleet fired the energy pulse. It spread across the battlefield, disabling many alien ships. The humans attacked quickly. Destroying the helpless ships, the alien fleet began to fall apart. Commander Rollo realized defeat was near. He ordered a retreat. The human fleet did not stop their attack until the aliens left their space. The victory was hard-won but complete. The ships returned to Earth. People cheered their heroes. Captain Neil and his crew were honored again. Their courage and skill had saved the planet once more. The battle showed that humans were not just survivors. They were fighters, leaders, and protectors. Commander Rollo watched from his ship, knowing he must rethink his strategy. The humans were stronger than he thought. On Earth, Captain Neil stood with his crew. "This is not the end," he said, "but we will always fight to protect our home." The stars shone brightly as the human fleet prepared for the future. The story of the Valiant and its crew was far from over. The space around Earth was quiet for a few days after the great battle. But Captain Neil knew that peace was only temporary. The aliens had not given up. They were still a threat, and the humans had to be ready. On the Valiant, the crew worked hard to repair the damage from the last fight. The engineers checked every system, making sure the ship was stronger than before. New weapons were installed, and shields were tested. Captain Neil walked through the ship, greeting his crew. Their faces showed tiredness, but also determination. "We rest only a little," he said. "The next battle may come soon." Scientists on Earth worked day and night to improve technology. Dr. Mira was leading a team developing a new weapon, a pulse that could disable enemy ships' systems without destroying them. This weapon could give humans an advantage by stopping attacks before they started. "We will have the power to control the battle," Dr. Mira explained to Neil during a briefing. "This pulse is different from before. It is stronger and lasts longer." Neil nodded. "That will help us protect Earth and our fleet." Meanwhile, Commander Rollo was also preparing. He gathered his officers and said, "We have lost many ships, but we have learned. Our new weapons will be stronger. This time, we will not lose." The alien fleet was rebuilt with faster ships and better shields. They planned a surprise attack to catch the humans off guard. One night, sensors on the Valiant detected movement. A new alien fleet was approaching, faster and more silent. Captain Neil gave the order to prepare. The humans were ready this time. The Valiant led a fleet of ships toward the incoming enemy. The space between the fleets was filled with tension. The aliens opened fire first, launching bright energy blasts. The humans used their new shields to block most of the attacks. The battle was on. Captain Neil used the pulse weapon. The energy waves spread through space, hitting the alien ships. Many of them lost power and stopped moving. The humans attacked quickly, destroying or capturing the disabled ships. The aliens were shocked. Their best weapons were not working. Commander Rollo shouted orders to restart the systems. Do not let them win. But many ships remained silent, caught in the pulse. The humans pressed their advantage. The Valiant and its fleet moved with speed and precision. Their lasers and missiles hit enemy ships again and again. Mika flew her fighter bravely. She dodged attacks and helped protect larger ships. She felt the pride of being part of this team. The battle lasted many hours. The aliens lost many ships and had to retreat. The humans had won again. Captain Neil watched the retreating fleet. "This battle shows that we can win, not just with weapons, but with our ideas and teamwork." The humans returned to Earth with new confidence. They knew the aliens would try again, but they were stronger now. Commander Rollo was frustrated. "These humans are not easy to defeat," he said. "We must find another way." The alien leader ordered spies to learn more about human strength. He wanted to know their secrets. Back on Earth, Captain Neil prepared his crew for the future. "We will keep improving. We will protect our home no matter what." The Valiant and its crew became symbols of hope. Their story inspired many. The stars above shone quietly, but on Earth, the light of courage and determination burned bright. The battle was not over. The war was just beginning. The morning light over Earth's surface did not reach the cold black of space, where the Valiant floated silently among other human ships. Captain Neil stood in the command center, watching a screen that displayed patrol reports for 2 weeks. After the last battle, space had been calm. He knew the aliens were planning something. Commander Rollo had tasted defeat too many times to simply give up. Neil could almost feel the tension in the air, like the moment before a storm. Dr. Mira arrived on the Valiant with new equipment. Her team had upgraded the energy pulse weapon, giving it a wider range and faster recharge. "If they come in large numbers," she explained, "we will be able to disable more ships at once." "That may decide the next battle," Neil replied. "We must be ready for anything, far away, in deep space." Commander Rallo's fleet hid among asteroid fields. The ships had been rebuilt with better armor and new long-range weapons. This time, his strategy was different. Instead of charging directly, he planned to break the human defense slowly, targeting supply lines and communication stations. Rollo spoke to his officers. "Humans fight well face to face, but let us see how they handle being cut off from each other. If they cannot call for help, they will fall apart." The plan began quietly. Small alien strike teams moved in, destroying unmanned satellites and sensor stations near human borders. At first, the humans thought it was space debris or accidents, but soon, the pattern was clear. Someone was preparing the way for a larger attack. Neil called an emergency meeting of fleet captains. "We are not dealing with the same enemy as before," he said. "They are testing us, looking for weakness. We cannot wait for them to bring their full force here." The human fleet split into smaller groups, each assigned to guard key points. In space, the Valiant took the most dangerous position near a vital communication hub. Days passed without a major battle. Then, one evening, sensors on the Valiant picked up fast-moving signals. Dozens of alien ships were heading straight for the hub. "All stations, prepare for contact," Neil ordered. "They want this station, but they will have to take it from us." The alien ships arrived in a sharp formation. They opened fire instantly, sending streams of energy bolts toward the human defenders. The Valiant's shields flared with bright light as they absorbed the first hits. "Return fire," Neil said calmly. Human lasers and missiles shot through the darkness, hitting several alien ships. But more kept coming. The battle was fierce. The Valiant maneuvered quickly, avoiding heavy fire while protecting the hub behind it. Mika, "Take the right flank and keep their smaller ships busy," Neil commanded. "Yes, Captain," Mika replied, steering her fighter into the thick of enemy lines. Her quick turns and sharp aim drew attention away from the larger human ships on the main deck. Dr. Mira activated the upgraded pulse weapon, firing pulse in 3, 2, 1. A bright wave of energy spread out from the Valiant, washing over the battlefield. Alien ships in the front line flickered, their engines shutting down. Some drifted helplessly, others spun slowly in space. "Focus fire on the disabled ships," Neil ordered. Within minutes, half the attacking force was destroyed or captured. The rest tried to pull back, but the humans pressed their advantage. The battle ended with the hub still safe and the Valiant unharmed. After the fight, Neil gathered his crew. "They wanted to weaken us. Instead, we showed them we are ready." But this was not their main attack. Rollo is still out there. He was right, in the alien command ship. Rollo watched the battle's outcome with narrowed eyes. "They are learning. Too fast," he admitted. "Every time we strike, they adapt." An officer asked, "Do we retreat again?" Rollo shook his head. "No, we bring everything. The next time we face them, there will be no holding back." Back on Earth, news of the victory spread quickly. People celebrated, but the military stayed alert. Reports showed alien activity gathering in a distant sector. It looked like Rollo was preparing for the largest battle yet. The human fleet began to regroup. calling back ships from patrols and bringing in reserves. Engineers worked without rest to repair and upgrade every vessel. Pilots trained harder than ever, running simulations day and night. In a quiet moment, Neil stood at the viewing window of the Valiant, watching the stars. Mika joined him. "Do you think we can win again?" she asked. Neil smiled slightly. "I think we must. Not because we want glory, but because our people are counting on us. We don't have the choice to fail." Mika nodded. "Then we'll make sure we don't." That night, the Valiant and the human fleet set course toward the coordinates where alien activity had been detected. They would not wait for the enemy to come to Earth. This time, humanity would meet them halfway. The final confrontation was drawing near. The battlefield was silent. What had been a sky filled with fire, smoke, and flashing energy now looked like an empty ocean of stars. Pieces of alien ships floated without power, some still burned, their frames glowing red from the intense heat of battle. The Horizon Spear was the only warship left moving. Its engines burned steady, a calm light against the darkness. Inside, Captain Harris stood at the main command table, looking at the tactical display. Every alien marker was gone. The fleet that had arrived so confidently just hours ago had been erased from the battle map. "Report," Harris said quietly. Commander Lynn stepped forward. "Enemy fleet destroyed. No life signs from any major vessels. Some escape pods detected, but they are not transmitting." Harris nodded slowly. "Log it. Full battle report for command. Make sure every detail is recorded." The bridge crew worked in silence. They were professionals, but there was still an unspoken weight in the air. This wasn't just another skirmish. This was the first true clash between humanity and the alien power. Calling itself the Varn Dominion, and humanity had won completely. In the ruins of space, a small transmission beacon blinked weakly. It was not sending words, only a repeating signal. On the alien side, it meant one thing: warning. Far away, in the Varn Dominion's Grand War Council, a group of alien commanders stared at the incoming alert. The code was one they had never thought they would see: fleet lost in contact with a known enemy. What could destroy an entire armada in minutes? One asked. Another commander leaned forward, his voice low. "Not what, who?" Back aboard the Horizon Spear, the crew gathered in the observation deck after securing the ship. Through the large viewing window, they could still see the wreckage of the alien armada drifting slowly. Stars shone peacefully beyond the twisted remains of enemy warships. Ensign Malik broke the silence. "They'll send more, won't they, Commander?" Lynn answered without turning from the glass. "Yes, this was only the beginning. We just told the galaxy that humans aren't prey. That will attract attention. Not all of it good." Harris joined them, arms crossed. "Let them come. We didn't start this fight. But if they push, they'll learn the same lesson." Malik looked at him. "And what's that, sir?" "That humans don't lose." Far across the galaxy, the surviving escape pods were intercepted by a smaller Varn vessel. The survivors were pale, silent, and trembling. One of them, a high-ranking officer, whispered only a single word in their own language, one that translated to Terran. The word began to spread in hushed conversations across alien worlds. Terran, the destroyers of fleets. The species that turned the proud Varn Armada into drifting wreckage in less than an hour. On Earth, news of the battle was kept under strict security. Only a handful of high-level officials knew the details, but rumors began to leak through small, unofficial channels. Stories of a single human warship standing against a force that should have been unstoppable. Some people dismissed them as propaganda. Others believed every word. In the halls of the United Earth Navy Command, the official message was short and cold. First contact with hostile alien fleet. Engagement successful. Further encounters expected. Weeks later, a quiet meeting took place. In a secure chamber deep within the Mars Defense Command, Harris, Lynn, and a few other key officers stood around a holographic map of the galaxy. Red marks showed possible alien staging points. Yellow lines indicated predicted invasion routes. "This is not over," the intelligence officer said. "The Varn Dominion will reorganize. They will test us again, and when they do, They will come with more ships, stronger weapons, and better tactics, Harris simply replied. Then we'll be ready. Back on the horizon spear, the crew, prepared for departure. Repairs were completed, systems checked, and the ship's long-range sensors scanned the darkness for any movement. There was none. Before they left, Harris gave one final order. Send one message, open channel. No encryption. The communications officer nodded. Message, sir. Harris spoke clearly, his voice calm and firm. To the Varn Dominion. Humanity seeks peace. But if you bring war to our door, remember this day. The message was sent, traveling on every frequency, aimed toward the last known Varn communication network. It was a warning, but also a statement. As the Horizon Spear turned away from the wreckage and engaged its faster-than-light drive, the stars stretched into lines of light in moments. The ship vanished into the deep black, leaving behind only silence and the drifting remains of an armada that had believed itself unbeatable. Somewhere in the darkness, alien leaders were already plotting their next move. But now, they would plot with caution. They had seen what a single human warship could do, and they knew. The next time they faced humans, the outcome might be even worse. And so began the quiet war shadow conflict of scouting missions, intercepted signals, and fleets moving in the night. But every alien commander who thought about attacking humanity remembered one truth carved into the wreckage of their fleet. When humans fight, they fight to win. And they do not forget.